Ladies and gentlemen, students, wrestling fashionistas, seekers of the truth, welcome back to another live edition of the Masters of Wrestling, right here on the Masters of Wrestling Network, the leaders in sports entertainment podcasts. Today, much like the great, the legendary Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred when he said, "What is that smell? What is that smell?" And then the guy he was holding said, "Dookie, that's what I smell." Well, actually, I smell shit when I think of the word WWE, because last night in the great kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as they like to be told out there, Saudi Arabia, Night of Mediocracy took place last night, and my Uncle Paul has officially, along with TKO, completely lost their minds and killed the WWE. It's over. It is finished because now we have Mr. Sloppy, Sami Zayn himself, the man who literally in a photo op last night when he's holding his new fake title up above his head, being held and little fans holding on to him like he's some kind of superhero, literally looked like he was part of the audience. The man who has never seen the inside of a tanning booth. The man who does not comb his hair, who does not shave his face. The pitiful, pitiful excuse of a sports entertainer that he is. The man who borrowed Thurman Sparky Plug's tights and wears them in the ring. The man who has zero character, zero personality other than a damn whining snowflake. Sami Zayn has become the world champion in the WWE. Oh my gosh, how far we have tumbled to a crashing heap of rubble trash. If Sami Zayn is the best that the WWE has, then everybody else can just leapfrog right over them. All right? I have seen better performers, better characters out there on the independent scene than Mr. Sloppy himself, Sami Zayn. As you can all tell, I am ticked off. I am heated. I am angered. I am hot by this asinine decision. I'm sure there are many people out here, those who like to receive participation awards for doing jack shit. I'm sure they're happy because they're in their little head thinking, wow, I can be like Sami Zayn too. I can be a lazy ass and find my way all at the top. An agenda is happening here. Something's going on because in my Uncle Paul's right mind, his right mind, not his delusional one that he's developed over the last few years, in his right mind cannot think that this is a good decision. And again, if Saudi Arabia are to blame for this, if it was their call and they influenced it, then who really runs the WWE? Because if it's Saudi Arabia who called the shots, then it's certainly not Hollywood. It's not Tinseltown. It's certainly not my Uncle Paul. If they have the jurisdiction to leapfrog over the creators of WWE and tell them what to do, tell them to make Sami Zayn the world champion, then, like I said, WWE's, I've been saying for a while, I've been saying to you fine people, my fellow masters out there, I've been telling you guys that the WWE is dead, and I think we just confirmed that. You know what? You know what I did? You know what I did, all of our loyal viewers, members, and subscribers? I took a picture. That is your WWE champion. Look at that, people. That guy right there who would get lost in a crowd that you could never pick out of a crowd. That guy right there is your WWE champion. This is a sorry day for the WWE. Probably one of the worst days for WWE in many, many years. Of course, the initial decline happened with a man who looks similar to this Mr. Sloppy. Of course, I'm talking about Daniel Bryan. The first time this occurred, the first time that this nonsense happened, when that bullshit yes chant began all those years ago, is now happened once again in the year 2026. This is abysmal. And I, for one, like I said, at this juncture, I don't even want to report on WWE anymore. I don't even want to waste my breath. I don't want to spend the time. I don't want to look at their product anymore. And all those wrestling saps out there, there's other wrestling journalists, you know, the ones I'm talking about, some of the others out there that have been praising this. Oh, congratulations, Sami. Congratulations for what? For being written into the script as the champion? This is the delusion that kicks in here. Oh, congratulations. It's such an accomplishment, such an accomplishment. What, that somebody wrote into the script that you become the world champion? It's not real. It's not real, Mr. Sloppy, Mr. Sami Zayn. It's not real. You are a character in a story, a poor, abysmal one at that, and you have been gifted the world title belt. This is astonishing, people. You know, at the end of the day, as much as I think Cody Rhodes is the least impressive of the Rhodes family. He, at the very least, tail of the tape, top to bottom, had a presence that befitted somebody on TV. He had a character. He's got a certain look about him. He doesn't just look like, you know, somebody who woke up in the morning and didn't even comb their hair. At least Cody Rhodes has something. Plus, he has that staggering family lineage behind him. But they decided to give Sami Zayn, because they felt sorry for him. I mean, I'm sure that's what it all boils down to here. They feel sorry for him because he's a journeyman, this and this and that. Honestly, and again, this is no disrespect to my man Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz, when he became part of the main roster in 1995, had more charisma and more going on in him and more talent in that ring for sure as a storyteller than this friggin' Neanderthal is what he looks like. This is pathetic. I tell you what, if I was working in the WWE, I'd ask for my damn release. Literally, the moment I saw that happen, I'd say, you know what? And I've heard comments that there have been other wrestlers coming out there congratulating. Now, I can't confirm this, but again, if it's true, I'm utterly disgusted. I heard that even Karrion Kross put out a statement. Now, I had respect for him if it turns out to be true. And again, no disrespect, Karrion, to you. But if it turns out to be true that Karrion is actually in support of this and congratulated him for real, then it just shows me that Karrion Kross ain't as smart as what he's been portraying himself to be. All right? And he's obviously part of the problem and not part of the solution. The solution to saving sports entertainment is to create stars once more. Superstars. The original thumbnail for this video, I put jokes versus stars. And on the one side where I put jokes, I had Orange Cassidy and Dickhausen. And on the other side, I had Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, right? Jokes, the modern, versus the stars of the past. What is a star? I'm sure all you intellects, you Masterians out there know what a star is. It's somebody that develops a magnetic character, a larger-than-life presence, who is bold, who declares, who goes out there and enthralls and entertains, who puts everything on the line to be the very best version of themselves that they possibly can be, in whatever form that may be. Not somebody like Sami Zayn, who's a half-asser. Not even a half-ass. At least when he had short hair, you could tell he actually invested money to go and get a haircut. My gosh. Hey, everybody, write in the comments. This is why we're going live. I want to interact with you guys, all right? This is not a pre-recorded video, so make sure you hop into the live stream. That's why we're here. That's why we do these live streams. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Do it right now so that we get pushed into the algorithm. Now, at the end of the day, I've been talking with my team about the algorithm, and our patience is thin for it. Like I said, at the end of the day, algorithm is like a steel cage that is wrapped around us. And until we smash through that, our content is only being provided in a small, minute fashion to people out there. So we need you guys' help. That's why I tell you all, hit the thumbs up. It's absolutely free to do so. It costs you $0 to just hit the thumbs up. Make sure you do that, because we do need to start knocking these other people off the tracks that are just, because I'm sure there's a gazillion videos out there today that are going to come out with people saying, this is wonderful. This is a great thing for Sami Zayn. We got to silence these people. We got to knock those people off the tracks now, because they are part of the problem. The more of those little twerps are coming out, the more people are in support of this, the more this nonsense will continue. And it will kill sports entertainment in the end. Trust me, the world of sports entertainment is on very, very fragile ground right now. It is on thin ice. All right, think about it. TNA, they're about to go out the window. They're gone. The amount of bad press that company has around them, they've been babysit by WWE, they're gone. AEW is a sham. It's been in shambles for years. Their TV deal ends at the end of 2027 with no new deal in sight. All right? MLW, intermittent. It's here. It's there. We know that JCW is on the rise, and we're all pulling for JCW to take over every single one of them because Vince Russo at the helm, my man Vinny Rue, he knows how to create characters. He knows how to do storylines. He knows how to hook an audience. The WWE, AEW, MLW, sorry, TNA, they're on their way out. It's over. It is over. Thank God we have the videos and the library of the past and podcasts out there where we can listen, go behind the scenes, talk and communicate with each other. Thank God for that. Because I tell you what, they keep fumbling. They keep fumbling. And like I said before, I don't know who in their right mind would put somebody like Sami Zayn, at the top of a company. My gosh. I mean, you could argue the fact that we've had a scruffy world champion before in Mick Foley, but at least Mick Foley was a larger-than-life character. At least he had charisma, a magnetic personality. At least he was mankind. At least he wasn't just coming out to the ring wearing Thurman Bob Spark Holly's former Grand Prix tights. Again, if somebody could unriddle me that, somebody tell me in the chat, why in the hell does Sami Zayn wear a checkered flag on his tights? Is he a race car driver? What the hell is his gimmick? Other than a guy who's down on his luck and wakes up on a bench in a park. Literally. This is the ridiculousness of this situation. It's awful. Oh my gosh. We're going to keep going in here. Yes. Music World Treasures, one of our valuable channel members, Joshua, he says, this is a sad day. Indeed, my man Joshua. It is a very sad day because as the way I internalize it, people, is that the WWE just went like this to everybody, like this. Tony Khan does this to people every single week with his stupid 5-star David Meltzer matches. Now the WWE just officially went like this, like bigger than before. You know, they relegated Jacob Fatu. They put him back under Roman Reigns. They have Braun Breaker, who's been saddled back down the ladder when he could have been the hottest thing since sliced bread. The next Scott Steiner. Family lineage. But, oh, no. Mr. Dollar Store Sam Smith knockoff. Mr. Becky Lynch. Oh, no. We want him to stay on top. The man who wears abstract clothing and who dresses like a woman. We want him to be at the top, but we don't want Braun Breaker. We don't want the masculine guy that could literally obliterate the entire WWE locker room. We don't want him. We don't want to show strength. We don't want to show strength. We want to give participation awards. We want Sami Zayn, Mr. Sloppy. There you go. There's another one for you right there. Like we branded the tickler, Tiny Khan. We're going to brand him Mr. Sloppy. Right, Mr. Sloppy. Heck, at least if you put a T-shirt out there and it said Mr. Sloppy with Sami Zayn's face on it, at least that would be something, right? I see some of you still haven't thumbs up the video. Do it right now. I want to smash through that algorithm today. I have had enough of the algorithm trying to constrain and restrain us. We want to break those shackles, and I need you guys to hit that thumbs up right now. I need all of you guys who have not subscribed to do that right now. Startling analytics that we looked up the other day. 70% of people who regularly watch us have not hit the subscribe button. I need those 70%. If I'm talking to you, hit that subscribe button. Do it right now. And like I said, join and become a channel member. We are about to launch our store, and channel members will be getting a 15% discount on all merchandise in our store. They will be eligible for free giveaways. They get access to our members-only videos, and on live streams, you get all your questions answered without having to give a super chat. How about that? All the other channels out there, I've watched them all. As I did my research before I launched my channel, I watched them all. Whenever they go live, the only way they answer your question is if you give them a super chat. So to avoid that, we just did $4.99 a month. You get unlimited questions answered. You get your members-only videos. You get discount on merchandise and free giveaways. You will not find a better deal. You will not find better content out there on the internet than right here on the Masters of Wrestling. And we all know that for very good reason. We do not sugarcoat right here. I'm going to go to the questions in a little bit here, but I just still, in case we get the odd person that hasn't been over here who comes into the channel today and watches this for the first time, you know, we want to give you guys a breath of fresh air. We want to bring reality back to the conversation. If you guys see in that thumbnail that I put out for the video today, I put Hulk Hogan from No Holds Barred when he's holding that guy and he says, I did Dookie, basically shit in his pants. Because that's what Sami Zayn reminds me of. When I think of him as the world champion, I feel like somebody shit in their pants. And somebody literally did shit on the WWE ring. This is impossible, guys. This is disgusting. The WWF, the WWF, then the WWF, and then WWE into the early 2000s. Do you know how much blood, sweat, tears, effort went into building that thing? All the fantastic memories that we have from childhood, from the golden era to the attitude era to the ruthless aggression era to this shit, the shit era. That's what I'm going to call it right now, the shit era. It's not even the ruthless depression era. There's the depression. It's gone beyond depression. It is the shit era. There is nothing left of any value to it. Zero. They take the pay-per-views to Saudi Arabia, boycotting the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, some of these other countries that have supported the WWF by spending countless hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars on their merchandise over 40 years. And the WWE in one night of mediocrity. It's not Night of Champions. It's Night of Mediocrity. Just shit on the WWE entirely by making the biggest chump in their company the world champion. Utterly disgusting. Uncle Paul, we got a cannon pointed directly at Titan Towers. And when I do get in the other company, we're going to be firing. We're going to be taking aim because a new wrestling war is coming. Because we will reestablish a proper reign in sports entertainment. We will bring back characters. We will bring back true entertainment. And we will stop insulting the intelligence of the true sports entertainment fan, the true TV audience out there. If you haven't already, I see a bunch of you still haven't, hit the thumbs up. Like I said, I'm fed up with the algorithm trying to constrain us. You help us. Hit that thumbs up button. That'll smash another cog in that chain right out so we can blast out there and just go straight to the top where we need to be. Because quite frankly, I've had enough of the imposters. I've had enough of the yes men. I've had enough of the other bullshit friggin' liars out there that come out and support this kind of crap, right? Okay, they seem to talk about wrestling all the time, but all they talk is shit. They don't talk the truth. You know, we got Thomas the Tank Engine spouting garbage. We got bullshit everywhere, and we've had enough of it, right? There's a reason we call us the Masters of Wrestling right here. All right, let me go into some of these questions here. I see Traffic Jam sent us a super chat. Thank you, my man. We appreciate any donations on the channel. I appreciate that greatly. Traffic Jam sent us a $5 super chat. Everybody, thank Traffic Jam for helping us continue to grow, for supporting us here, because we need that. We need that to continue moving on. So thank you, Traffic Jam, for supporting us. He says, Sami Zayn is the undisputed champion is a disrespect to the wrestling business. WWE is becoming lifeless. Emir, keep doing God's work. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you. All glory to God. All glory to God through Jesus Christ, Yeshua, my Lord and Savior. Indeed, I am going to keep going here because we need to change. This is it. We've reached the battle lines, people. That's it. We've been rearing up for a battle. We've been doing it for the better part of the last year. And now the battle lines have been drawn. All right. It's time to take back sanity. It's time to take back truth. And it's time to bring back quality. That's what we're missing above everything else. It's quality. T-Dunn is in the house. T-Dunn, your gift is on the way to you, my man. All right, don't worry about it. Your gift is on the way, okay? We had a little bit of a delay. I had some crazy things going on the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, your gift is on its way, T-Dunn. He says, great thumbnail. Vince and Hulk locked themselves in a conference room and wrote No Holds Barred. That line definitely is a Vince line. I smell Dookie. Yeah, exactly. Friggin' great line, my man. Great time. See, the moment you talk about this, it brings a smile to my face. All right? The moment I think of Sami Zayn, I just want to grab my cell phone and just throw it so hard through that wall, it'll blast through another wall all the way to Saudi Arabia, and it hits him right squared right in between the eyes. Friggin' punk. Anyway, nonetheless. All right, T. Dunn says, Saudi definitely made the call. Watch the post-interview he did on the stage. Says it all right thereafter. All I saw from it. Yeah, I have not watched Night of Mediocrity, nor do I intend to. All right, okay? I saw the headlines. Well, actually, scratch that. I got a text message last night from the baddest man alive. You all know that is one of my co-stars on Style on the podcast. By the way, Rico Constantino will be back, not this week, next week. All right, he's finishing up those family obligations he had that he was doing, and he'll be back. But my man, the baddest man alive, Jefferson Flair, former bounty hunter, former bodyguard, former law enforcement, a man who studied to be in sports entertainment. He texted me last night talking about Sami Zayn, Mr. Sloppy being world champion. I wonder why I woke up feeling pissed off today. I wonder why I woke up feeling a little bit more intense than usual. Probably because my body was tense at night because I was thinking of how I wanted to get my hands on these friggin' idiots and just friggin' shake sense back into them, knock them the hell out. Ridiculous. Let me silence this. I didn't know my phone was on ringer there. I apologize for that. All right, music, sad day indeed. Bellissimo, join and become a channel member, my friend, and we will interact. We will answer all your questions live in living color. No, it is not Memorex. Shemp82 is in the house. Thank you for calling out this BS Emir. Indeed, this is not just entertaining, educational, but this is the cathartic experience for all you guys here, because I think, honestly, sports entertainment fans are in need of some catharticism. They're in need of some sort of ability to vent, because it's like, you're watching the TV screen and you're thinking to myself, how is this even possible? How am I even hearing people say this is a good idea? How am I, like I said, if it turns out to be true that Karrion Kross supports this, Karrion Kross is not the guy I thought he was. I'm going to do some more research because, again, I know sometimes people put out things and they're not necessarily true, so I don't want to speak ahead of time. But I did hear that, what's his name? Karrion Kross was saying, congratulations, long overdue to Sami Zayn. If that's the case, no wonder his ass was canned from WWE, because at the end of the day, that's ridiculous. But anyway, continue. Villain says, oof, little late. Hey, everyone. Villain 1 says, I've been waiting to hear Emmy go off about Sami. Well, you've got your wish come true today, because Villain, we haven't stopped just yet, because there's more shenanigans, more crap that came out of Saudi Arabia. For one, I didn't even know they were in Saudi Arabia. This was a shock to me. They do so many damn pay-per-views a year. I don't even know what's what anymore. Nothing special. Wasn't it just King of the Ring a few days ago or something? Or did they just incorporate that into the new shows? I don't know. You find people tell me. How do they do King of the Ring these days? Because from what I remember, it was actually a pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm going to call it a pay-per-view. I'm not going to call it a PLE. What the hell does that stand? It's an abbreviation for people or whatever. It sounds asinine. Stupidity that they make up. They try and fix the wheel when the wheel is not broken. All right? It's absolutely stupid. But anyway, let me continue. T-Dunn tells you all, hit that thumbs up, hype the video, subscribe, repeat. T-Dunn, you forgot to tell them all to hit the join button right now and become channel members and get access to all those perks and help us along that journey to breaking through just the YouTube and taking this entire show on the road worldwide. Yes, we have big plans. Yes, we are going to accomplish them, but we need your help in order to do it. So make sure you join today, become a channel member, hit that thumbs up. That's the least amount of effort you can do. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, do all those things, because we're getting out there right now. Enough of the bullshit. We're going to put an end to it, all right? Somebody has to take the bulls by the horn, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're doing it with all you fine people. All right, going down here today. Paul Reckless joins us from the United Kingdom. Yes, this is an international affair right here on the Masters of Wrestling. Paul Reckless says, I watched that show last night, and it's just utterly awful. I cannot even process how anyone with half a brain cell can put this out. Close it down now. Boycott this WWE now. Abandon ship. Indeed, indeed. The ship, the Titanic, has a hole in it, and it is sinking. It hit an iceberg, And that iceberg last night was Mr. Sloppy himself, Sammy, Sammy, what can we call him here? I wanted to say something very derogatory there, but I don't want to offend anybody. Let's just call him Mr. Sloppy, okay? Mr. Scruffy, Mr. Sloppy, Sami Zayn. He was the iceberg that the WWE hit last night, and their ship now is sinking. As if Brock Lesnar basically going like this to the WWE in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania wasn't bad enough. As if the WWE unreal bullshit isn't bad enough. Now they put Sami Zayn, the man with no character, the man who wears Grand Prix racing flag tights to the ring, the man who doesn't cut his hair or trim his beard, the WWE Undisputed Champion. My gosh. My gosh. And you can't tell me, Uncle Paul, dear Uncle Paul, I know we don't talk anymore, but you can't tell me that you actually believe this is a good idea. You can't tell me that if we got into a time machine and went back to 1997, that you would actually take this moron seriously as a world champion competitor. Please tell me that you wouldn't, or otherwise you're more delusional than what I thought you were in before. My gosh. And this is no disrespect, but Bob Backlund, when he became Mr. Bob Backlund in 1994, was a far more captivating champion that actually had a reason to be champion than this clown, Sami Zayn. This is a dark day in sports entertainment. Well, I'm not even going to call it sports entertainment. Let's call this shit what it is. Pro wrestling, all right? Sports entertainment is a cut above. All right. That's what turned wrestling into a worldwide rock and MTV success. That's what sports entertainment is. Pro wrestling is just dark, dank, smoke-filled arenas with 25-minute matches that Dave Meltzer likes to give scorecards to because he's delusional and thinks it's actually real when it's not real. It's actually a scripted show. My gosh. We got a bunch of friggin' immature delusionals in this business that we need to get the F out, all right? My gosh, Vince McMahon should come back, all right? At the end of the day, I think at 80 years old, he may have a lot more common sense than these tools that are running the industry now. Absolute friggin' clowns. Absolute friggin' people that never grew up. They're absolute idiots. My gosh. Whew. Let me take a breath here. All right. Villain says, checkerboard is code for other things too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's got the checkerboard. We all know that could mean other sort of cults and societies and all that. Could be that. I don't know why he's wearing friggin' checkerboard on his tights. Doesn't make any sense for his character. Not that he has one anyway. Yeah, Paul Reckless. Hello from the UK. Okay, Villain says, I thought I didn't want it to happen either, but Gunther and Cody aren't hot at all right now. Maybe I am biased because I am, Canadian. Gunther made sense to me to make champ months ago, but fighting Aldis. Is Aldis still wrestling? Is Nick Aldis still wrestling? Because I often wondered why the hell they brought him in just to have him play the role of a stupid GM and a bad one at that. So, but yeah, Gunther would have made a better world champion than Sami Zayn. Bottom of the barrel, man. I'll tell you, like I said, I mean, I don't know who's running this shit for real. I know it's, who is it? Sky, no, it's not Skydance. There's another one, a lake company, Silver Lake. Silver Lake are the true owners of the WWE right now. Then it's Endeavor. Then it's TKO. Then it's WWE. So that's the pecking order. So I don't know. Maybe someone at Silver Lake likes people that look like they never shower. Maybe they wanted him to be world champion. Maybe they're just trying to kill the WWE. Think about it, all right? Okay? Think about it. If you declare bankruptcy, because we know the WWE is in the toilet, right? We know they're in the toilet. It's about $4 billion. Now, there, we've stumbled onto something there, students, masters. What if they're just trying to kill the WWE? What if they want to declare bankruptcy, right? Massive write-off for Silver Lake, massive write-off for TKO. When something starts going south, what do business people do? They write it off. We know that the president, Donald Trump's done it many times, and we know that he's always involved in WWE because we know the White House is involved in WWE. Maybe they're trying to finish it off. I mean, it sure does seem that way, right? They've hired these pathetic writers that look like they're barely out of film school. And again, film school is a damn joke. You either got it or you don't got it. You're creative or you're not. You can't teach that, as Enzo Amore would say. But at the end of the day, maybe they're trying to kill it. Maybe they are trying to kill it for real. I wouldn't put it past these people, honestly. The video library alone from the golden era is worth more than the WWE today. The video library alone from the Attitude Era is worth more than the WWE today. And all this bullshit about Dickhausen selling merch, that's overinflated bullshit too. That is the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard. In fact, I heard that there was a segment that took place last night, a night of mediocrity, and that involved Dickhausen, dicking around with Dickhausen. That should be the segment. You're welcome. And I expect my check in the mail, WWE, for giving you another idea. Dicking around with Dickhausen, right? He comes out and does a stupid segment saying somebody owes him $100,000 or some crap like that. All this bullshit curses he puts on people. What are we, 5? What are we, 5 years of age? Come on. Do better. Try harder, all right? Look at your demographic, all right? Back in the day, Vince understood. I remember back looking at the crowd. Kids were maybe 8, 9, 10, and then into the teenage years and that. They're not that young. I mean, what the heck is a 4 or 5-year-old going to understand Dickhausen? Absolutely not. They don't understand that stuff. Again, grow up. Get a friggin' clue, you morons. Sheesh. All right. Villain says, is a great path. Villain says, better than attacking Cole and Pat McAfee. Laugh out loud. Yeah, honestly. I mean, hey, Pat McAfee's got more charisma than friggin' Sami Zayn. Any day. Any day. Michael Cole is a bigger character than Sami Zayn. Any day. This is what I'm saying. The idiocy of this stuff is unbelievable. Unreal. Literally, it's unreal. Like that bullshit show they have on Netflix. That was so dumb. T. Dunn says, WrestleMania, as much ring time as commercial time, no thank you. WWE has been going down for a while. Travis Scott at WrestleMania last year, WCW's finger poke of doom in specific moment downfall. Yeah, Travis Scott. Now I heard that this Travis Scott, who is this friggin' punk? Who is he in the first place? I keep hearing this jerk-off's name. I heard he's in a new movie as well. I heard he's in Odyssey, which is an absolute friggin' joke. Whoever put that shit together has taken an Odyssey from reality, common sense thinking, because we're going to do a members-only section video on that is going to be absolutely on fire, scathing, red hot. Because I'm not even going to talk about here on the free version of the channel right here on this live stream, people. My channel members are going to get access and privy to that kind of stuff. We're going to be going in deep because you all know I worked in Hollywood in the past. We all know our other guest star, Mr. Matt DeMille, Close Up with Mr. DeMille. He worked there, and we're going to be talking all about what the meaning behind this Odyssey movie is all about and some of the other bullshit that has come out from this movie that they've been trying to hide very conveniently from the commercials, right? Because they know that they're on the chopping block for the bullshit that they've done in the casting for this. But we're going to be getting into all of that, and it's going to blow you channel members' minds when we do that. All right, Paul Reckless says, the Ken Dot t-shirt is good. Oh, you're talking about our brand new The Tickler t-shirt, which is going to be available. We have 4 t-shirts. I have worked on all 4 designs. They are locked in right now. Thank you also to my man Joshua, Music World Treasures, for giving me a little bit of assistance with those. We have got the Tickler t-shirt, the Master Emir t-shirt, the Masters of Wrestling Masterian t-shirts, the original, the OG. And, of course, we got my man from the United Kingdom, the Gatekeeper, BMC. So those 4 T-shirts will be going up for sale. We're creating a brand new store that is going to be linked directly to our YouTube page. So you can buy that. We're going to get mugs. We're going to get hats. We got 8x10s on there of the team. I got to converse with Mario and Paul and Rico because we're going to put all their merchandise on there as well. It's going to be a proverbial madhouse here. But, again, if you're a channel member, if you've hit that join button, if you're paying $4.99 a month, if you're a channel member, you are going to get a discount, 15%. I believe we can work on the discount there for you guys for all our merchandise moving forward. And, of course, our merchandise will grow and expand and ebb and flow. We're going to be adding more material to it. Heck, I may have Mr. Sloppy. I may do a Mr. Sloppy t-shirt, all right? You can buy it and you can burn it. Right? Okay, or you can buy it and throw it in the trash. You can vent, all right? Think of us as a therapist. Think of me as a therapist as well, right? Yeah, a therapist. The world of wrestling, I am a therapist for all those in sports entertainment. So yeah, if you want to buy a Mr. Sloppy Zane t-shirt, you want to throw it in the trash or burn it for cathartic reasons, we may have one available soon. But yeah, check out our make sure you do pre-orders and stuff like that. If you are interested in the shirts, of course, send me an email, the Masters of Wrestling podcast at gmail.com. Very easy. Or drop a comment in this video or in another video, whatever you need to do. Get in contact with us. And of course, also check out our brand new partner, Life Peptides Club. I started peptides a little over a month ago, and I do feel fantastic. I see the difference in my skin and my immune function, definitely in my hair. I feel the difference in my recuperation time, my muscle building, my recuperation, all of that. It feels great. They are available. You can use my very own QR code, my very own link. It's in the description of this video. Click on that. You can order peptides straight to your home. But I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you anything, just simply sharing information with you fine people on this Sunday afternoon. All right, okay, let's go down here. Music World Treasures. Okay, Archie Lee is in the house. Wait, Archie, I skipped down here. Sorry, Archie Lee. Let me go back up. We skipped way down here. Okay, there we go here. Where are we? Wow, we really jumped here. Archie Lee, I'm trying to find your original comment. It took me all the way down the page here. So hold on a second. How fast you think the match will be when they got to take it from him once? Oh, okay. So, okay. Hold on one second. Where am I? Sheesh, I jumped down again. I apologize here. Archie Lee, I've gone way down. Josh Bishop. Gosh, Archie Lee, I got to go way back up here. This threw me down the bottom of the page here. Hold on a second, my man. Hold on a second. Let me get you here. All right, Archie Lee. Wait, this is legit? That guy won? Yes, this is legit. Shocking as that is. What's also legit is a bunch of people still haven't hit the thumbs up. Do it right now. I'm telling you right now. I've had enough of the algorithm. Need you guys to help us break through that algorithm. One of the ways we do that is you keep thumbs up to this video. Hit the thumbs up button. It's free to do so right now. Thumbs up is right underneath my face on the screen. Just do it right now. It helps us out greatly, and we appreciate it. All right, going down here. Beatty Wolfgang, says Archie Lee. Yes, sadly, it was the truth. Wow, Cody defeated. Was Dude Love Astro World? Dude Love, oh my gosh. What a character and a half right there. Villain says, Sammy sold his rump just like everyone else at that level. Could it be? I think him and KO were in the same room too. Nah, why would they do that? Oh, I see what you're doing there, Archie Lee. Very, very clever. Oh, no, Villain. Villain said that. Sorry, Villain. Yeah, they could have. Where is Kevin Owens anyway? Not that I care, but he somehow disappeared, didn't you? Remember Vince McMahon couldn't stand him? Because, again, why? He said he was sloppy, right? Sloppy ass. Fed up with these sloppy asses, right? At the end of the day, right, we're not asking everybody to get on sports supplements and become a muscle-bound beast. We're not asking that. We're just asking, do the best with what you got. Kevin Owens doesn't do that, and Sami Zayn doesn't either. These two friggin', oh my gosh, man. They're the reason, right? People like them from that friggin' nerd generation like Corporate Mark Phil, they're the ones that ruined sports entertainment. Because they all came in, what was it, like 15 years ago, 18 years ago? This new breed of wrestler that prior to that sat around playing video games in their mom's basement, right? And then all of a sudden, these friggin' nerds got the opportunity to come in the ring and never put forth the effort. Like I said, anyone, any of you, anybody can learn how to do pro wrestling. It's not rocket science, right? You can learn how to do the moves. Sure, you can learn how to do the move, but you can't learn how to talk. You can't learn how to become a character, and you can't learn psychology. Either you have it or you don't. These two knuckleheads, people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they don't have it, all right? They've got the moves down, sure. They can learn some of the storytelling aspects, considering they've been doing it for the better part of 20 years. They can learn it over time, but it's not second nature to them. That's why they can't slow down a match. That's why they don't have the facial expressions. That's why they don't. Remember Roddy Piper and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 8? I always say this, like, you can remember the moments, The moves mean shit. They mean absolute shit. Nothing. All right. But you remember the moments. What the hell, Piper? Hit him with the bell. Remember that when he had the bell and he was questioning it whether he was going to hit Brett with it at WrestleMania 8? Is he? Is he not? Is he going to turn heel? Is he not? Brilliant. That's psychology right there. That's storytelling. That's what brings an audience in. All right. Papa Shango, the voodoo character, all that brings people in to the story. It entrances them. It brings them out of the fans. It brings them into the story, and it makes it larger than life. Sami Zayn doesn't do that. People like Kevin Owens don't do that. A prize fighter? What the hell does that mean? If he wants to do that, just go and fight in the UFC. That's where they're real people. Just piss off. Do us all a favor. Piss off. You and Sami Zayn and the likes of all of you that just come out in generic trunks with no friggin' gimmick. You use your birth name or whatever, your given name, and you do nothing to entertain people. These people are, honestly, guys, I asked myself the question, did they ever watch sports entertainment growing up? Did they fail to see the Undertaker character? Did they not see Steve Austin? Did they not see the Ultimate Warrior? Did they not see that? Of course they bloody saw it. The thing is, they're too lazy and too cowardly to put in the effort and take the risks that those men did before them. And that's why we end up with the bullshit we have today. All right? NXT. NXT is a pile of shit. NXT is not even worth NXT, I saw a clip the other day because, as you all know, NXT took a shot at yours truly and Rico a few weeks ago. Yeah, they did. They took a shot at us. I got text messages coming through. Emir, look at this. Were you on NXT? No, I was not on NXT, but they took a shot at me because they know who we are, right? Okay? And at the end of the day, and then so I said to myself, what's going on in NXT? Who's there? What kind of stars do they have? A bunch of idiots that can't even talk. A bunch of guys that look like they stink. They don't even tan. Oh my gosh. They talk like teenagers. You can actually see them acting. The worst kind of actors on the face of the earth. You can tell they're acting. NXT is a joke. All right? An absolute joke. That's why when I listed all the companies that were going down the tubes, like TNA, WWE, I didn't even mention NXT because they're a freaking joke. Their entire roster sucks. If that's the future of WWE, it ain't having one. It ain't got one. All right? The last great thing to come out of WWE more recently was my man, Tricky Dicky Williams. And I pray for him that he's got backup plans. I pray for him that he develops his brand and takes it elsewhere. I mean, thank God Drew McIntyre got out. He's in Hollywood now. He doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. Thank God Logan Paul's got something to fall back on. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Sheesh, man. All right, let me take a breath here. Daniel Mazin, become a channel member or we'll interact with you, my man. Archie Lee says, Josh Bishop over Sami Zayn. Josh Bishop. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Probably a man I'll step into the ring with in the future. You talking about the man who looks like Sid Vicious? Another character like myself? Yeah. T. Dunn says, I bet Cross is saying it as congratulations to a former colleague and co-worker. Some just saying it to get attention. Yeah, probably Karrion's just saying to get attention. Like I said, if he needs to think, McFly, think. You know, he shouldn't be congratulating him because it's an abyss. Karrion Kross should know better. He grew up, 40-something? He grew up in the great age. He should already know who's a talent and who's not. Sami Zayn is not. Co-worker or not, good employee or not, irrelevant. Can he put butts in seats? No. Can he help the WWE? No. So if the answer is no to those two, the rest is irrelevant. Sure, he's a good worker. He's a good filler, man. Not taking that away from him. Again, we need carpenters. We need jobbers. We do need them, right? Okay? That's what made wrestling great back in the day. But he's not a world champion. Heck, Dwayne Gilbert had more charisma and pizzazz than this guy. Spike Dudley had more than this guy. Marco Stunt has more than this guy. All right, okay, let's go down here. Leon Stroker, Charles Alford, Daniel Mazin, Matt Bannister. Become channel members. Hit the join button. It's $4.99 a month. That's how I'm interacting with people here now. Because like I said, I want to give our channel members the benefit. I want to take away that I don't want the super chats anymore. If you want, of course, you want to give a super chat and donate to the channel. That's always welcome. We need that. We need your support to continue to do this. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make channel members so they get access to member perks. Matt Bannister, I've seen you here before, my man. Make sure you become a channel member, my friend. All right, hit the join button. Villain says, I think you would congratulate your friend who won the big one after 100 years, Amir. Karrion is a pretty stand-up cat for the wrestling business. No, I wouldn't. Villain, honestly, if I had a friend who was like Sami Zayn, and even if he won the belt, I may do it privately, but I certainly wouldn't parade it on social media because I already know, like I said, I got some friends in wrestling that I don't think much of character-wise. I honestly, I don't, right? That's just my thing. I don't think they can do much for it. Now, if they did something and they got like an award or whatever like that, I congratulate them privately. I wouldn't do it in public. I wouldn't because I know I'd be part of the problem, Villain. All right? I hope you understand my psychology here. You've got a big name like Karrion Kross, who is a big character, coming out, he has a lot of influence over people, trying to, again, say this is a good thing. No, I wouldn't. If I truly didn't believe the character was good, I would not. Absolutely not. I draw a line there. You know, it's like a kid who gets in trouble. If I was a parent, right? If I was a parent and I had a child that kept disobeying me, I wouldn't reward him. Absolutely not. Much like, again, I don't care if I've known Sami for years. I wouldn't publicly state it. I just would not. That's just me personally. Again, that's my opinion. BD Wolfgang says, greetings, Matt Bannister. All right, going down here again. Traffic Jam sent us another super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Traffic Jam. We greatly appreciate it. We greatly need it here. He says, JCW is the last real sports entertainment company, 100%. And I agree with you 100%. That is the last. Vince Russo has done wonders. He's come in there. He's taken what he had to work with, and he is making some fantastic strides in that company. He's made some really good angles, continual storylines. I know it's not for everybody. I know Vince Russo is in the process of trying to clean it up, you know, with the language and stuff like that because they want to get a big deal. Again, but he's got to make the change over time. He can't just come into the company and completely eradicate everything the way it's been done for 20 plus years. He's got to baby steps. But in terms of the characters and the storyline, that's the nucleus. That's what you got to look at. It's the storylines and the characters and the backstage vignettes and the way these guys talk. That is what I'm talking about. There are characters there. There are storylines that unfold. There are cliffhangers from week to week. This is something that all the other companies have failed miserably to do over the last 20 years. Vince McMahon knew how to do it. All right, coming down here. Villain says, Emir makes me want to be Angel's advocate. That rarely happens. Ha, ha, ha. For this topic, anyways, vroom, vroom. Angel's advocate. Is that what we're going to call you right now, Villain? We're going to give you a tag, a little nickname. BD Wolf says, whoop, whoop. Coming down here, Archie Lee says, how fast you think the match will be when they got to take it from him once ratings tank more? I don't know. I think they're trying to kill it. I mean, again, you got to think, people. They're in a boardroom. They're talking to each other. They have to know this is a bad idea. I mean, if somebody came into me right now and said, Emir, we want to, you know, we got a new concept for a playlist on your channel. We want to call it Fun Time at Fandangos. I'd say, piss off. We're not going to do that shit. Absolutely not. I'm not going to change the brand to create Fun Time at Fandangos. For what? Absolutely. Again, these people have to know it was an asinine idea, but somebody went along with it because I think self-sabotage is in the works. That's what I reckon. All right. Music World Treasures. My man Joshua says, Sami doesn't draw a dime. Absolutely. He does not draw a dime. He is awful. He is, like I said, this is who he is, people. All right? This is who he is. I'm gonna do it one more time just to really let it sink in. That is your world champion. That right there is your world champion. See that? He's never seen the inside of a tanning booth. That guy right there who doesn't cut his hair, barely combs it, has an awful beard, is wearing a jacket that any of you could buy from Marshall's right there, is your world champion. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And he's a whiner on top of that. He's a whiner. He's a Mr. Everything. Mr. Oh, you've all got to accept me and this and that. Please. Mr. Sloppy, shut up, please. Not Mr. Sacco, Mr. Sloppy. But I tell you what, he'd be better off in Mick Foley's crotch, right, than he is parading out there as the world champion on WWE programming. Also, by the way, did you guys hear how in the tank SmackDown is? SmackDown is in, I think they're going to get canceled. I think they've had it. I'm surprised friggin' AEW hasn't been friggin' pulled off the air sooner. I think, again, I know their deal ends at the end of 2027, but I'm surprised someone didn't axe them sooner because they are, 500,000 views a week? What's the point of even being on the air? Sheesh. All right, Shemp82 says WWE is really bad right now. Yes, it is. Thank you, Matt Bannister, for your kind word there. Matt, become a channel member, my man. I'd love to bring you up on the screen and interact with you more here, my man. Wolfpack Maine. We got another channel member, Wolfpack Maine. I don't believe I've ever seen you before. I cover JCW and help them on set. They're all good people. Well, I tell you what, Wolfpack Maine, I may be seeing you real soon then, my man. Okay, you're the type of company that I want to keep. Wolfpack Maine, make sure you remind them about the Master Emir. All right, okay? There have been talks with quite a few people there, so make sure you remind them. All right, so Wolfpack Maine, you're my eyes and ears there. All right, absolutely fantastic. All right, going down here, we got Wolfpack Maine again. He says, J-Rod is so good. J-Rod, who is J-Rod, Wolfpack Maine? I have, this is a name that slips me right now. I've been so focused on this recent events here of Night of Mediocracy that I've slipped my mind. Villain says, they're holding up their end of the bargain and upping the ante. Could it be? What are you talking about? What are you talking about upping the ante, my man? Wolfpack Maine says, I met everyone on the JCW roster. They were so welcoming. I conduct lunacy watch parties. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Wolfpack Maine. Yeah, like I said, I spent some time at the JCW around the locker room area and talked to many of the guys there. And, yeah, very welcoming, very professional. Again, you do see a lot of aggressive things on screen, but, yeah, people, like we're saying, they're not the same when you see them out of that. So, all right, Villain coming down here says, laugh loud, ha, Emir quoting Enzo just made my belly laugh. Didn't see that coming. Of course, I'm going to quote my man Enzo Amore, right? He's one of the originals who started talking out about the WWE's bullshit and other people's crap. Of course, I don't agree with some of the things he was, alleged to do. Of course, I don't agree with that. Not supporting it, just in case we have any casual snowflakes in our audience today. But at the end of the day, I appreciate his honesty. The man speaks the truth, and he doesn't give a shit. And at the end of the day, we need more people like that because, again, the more yes people we have in life, the more people that just live in a fantasy world of acceptance where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Sami Zayn doesn't give a shit about his appearance. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have a character. It doesn't matter that he's pissing on the graves of Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, the Macho Man, Mr. Perfect, ravishing Rick Rude. It doesn't matter. He should still be allowed to be the champion because otherwise we're going to hurt his feelings. Shut up. All right? Hurt his feelings. I've had enough of hearing about people with their feelings hurt. Enough of this crap. All right? At the end of the day, all right, especially a guy, grab a hold of your balls and make sure they're still there. All right? And accept it as constructive criticism and do better. Right? I criticize myself every day. I don't wait or listen to other people. I do it myself to get better, to push myself harder. Why? Because I've got my Lord above watching me every single day. All right. And I know that the hands of time and that hourglass are running out on my life. All right. Like it is all of us. This day will be another day gone. All right. And it's not like we're going back to the womb. All right. So at the end of the day, do better. So that's what pisses me off and irks me with these people like Sami Zayn, is they're not trying to do better. They don't care. They live in complacency. And then one day they wake up, 30 years have gone by. Oh, I didn't do anything. Surprise! You never tried. You never did anything. You sat on your ass and you led people to that slaughter. People like him who are actually in a position of authority, a position of influence, are leading the youth blindly towards mediocrity, to not trying. And the WWE condoning and putting out a message like that. Oh, it's a participant. Oh, just because you've been here all these years, we're going to reward you. Oh, okay, because you really look like a world champion. I think, yeah, you really fit the bill of somebody we want to put on all of our posters. You're really going to sell it? No. Stop with your participation awards. Get real. All right? Get real. All right? I hope you guys can feel the intensity coming off the screen here. All right? I want you guys to be fired up in everything you do in life. I want you to succeed. I want you to look in that mirror. I want you to be stronger, to do better. I want you to pray to God for the strength, for the health, to do it all, to go out there and change this thing called the world that we're living in right now. I had a conversation with a young man at the gym the other day. All right? Give him a shout out right now. Wilt. And he wants to become a personal trainer. You know what he's doing? He's busting his ass in the gym. He says, I'm not going to apply for the job until I'm in the best shape that I could possibly be in. That's the type of young man that we want right there. Not a guy who just wants to go and get the qualifications, but doesn't do a lick of the work himself just so he can go and train people and make the money. And guess what? He's a man of God. He said to me, I believe in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. And I feel that this is a mission because I'm fed up of seeing personal trainers around here that don't look the part, that don't do it themselves. They don't walk the walk. All right? Okay? So it's time. I want you all to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop in everything you do in life. You're the best to me. All right? But when you go out there in your fields of work, I want you to take this passion. I want you to take this fire, this with you. And I want you to just incinerate any bullshit. Not really. I mean, I don't want you to actually incinerate anything. Again, disclaimer there. But I want you to theoretically cut through the red tape and the BS and make sure that your presence is known and that you stand out and that you are quality and that other people, especially the youth, see that. All right, coming down here. Whew. All right, let me take a breath here again. I guess I must feel good today. I woke up this morning. I felt, do I feel good today? Do I not feel healthy today? I guess I do feel healthy today because I'm seeing it coming out right now. Praise God in the name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ. All right, okay, going down here. Wolfpack Main says, y'all should see me in the first row of the Michigan shows. He's talking about JCW. All right, okay. Paul Reckless says, WrestleMania is 1-9, 17 and 18. Everyone should revisit and watch them. Then you will understand, my friends. And it's funny you mentioned that, Paul Reckless, because in my mind, actually, definitely 1-9. I did like WrestleMania 12. I must admit that for obvious reasons. All right. But WrestleMania 1-9, 17 and 18 were the only great WrestleManias. You are absolutely true. 100%. And again, if more people are saying it, then it's not just me. All right. I know those are the best WrestleManias. I've always said if I ever have the DVD collection again, all right, we got a couple of gifts. I'm going to get to those gifts. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. That helps us move along. I appreciate that. Again, guys, join and become a channel member. That helps us even more because that puts you on to our monthly subscription. It's $4.99 a month. Make sure that you are still enrolled because I know some people had issues last month. It was just unenrolling them from being channel members. $4.99 a month. Excuse me. You'll get access to our members-only videos. You'll get free giveaway gifts. You'll get discount on our merchandise that's coming very, very soon. And, of course, you'll get to interact with me live each and every live stream each week where I will answer your questions and bring you up on the screen with the rest of our valued channel members here and subscribers. Absolutely. Wolfpack Man says, who's the funniest on the JCW roster? I actually get a kick out of Big Vito. I met him. I deliberated with Big Vito for quite a bit. Everyone else, he's got tremendous skin. I got to ask him next time. I got to go, Vito, how do you get such a smooth forehead, my man? He has not got one wrinkle on his forehead. And I think Big Vito is like 50-something now, right? Kudos. God bless him in the name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ. That man has great skin. All right, coming down here. Archie Lee says, Maine, the chosen one. Okay, going down here. Too funny. Let me go down here again. We got a lot of people that have not become channel members. Hit that join button, become a channel member, and we will get you up on the screen and answer your questions. The coolest dude in JCW is Cocaine. Yeah, I've seen that character as well. The Outbreak, very good gimmick, actually. Very, very good gimmick. Very original. I do like that. T. Dunn says, was perusing getting into film when I was in high school. Glad I didn't continue. Don't know which downfall is worse, wrestling or the movie industry. Well, again, at this point, the downfall of the wrestling industry, the sports entertainment industry is rapid, and it is, steeper than Mount Everest. It is unbelievable right now. But I think, Hollywood is also definitely on the downfall. Again, I mentioned the Odyssey earlier. We're going to be doing a members-only piece on that later this week, bringing that to you, to all our fine channel members. Hollywood has been on the decline for many years. It's been years since we've had great, great movies come out of Hollywood. I heard that Masters of the Universe is okay. I heard they took some shots at some of the most stupidity that we see going on in our world right now, so that'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, T-Dunn, you escaped fate worse than death, I think, there, my friend. All right, okay, Wolfpack Maine. Danny Moe is the most sweetest and most approachable. She's so cool. All right, going down here. Let me go. Oh, wow, we skipped again. Sorry, people. Let me go back up here. All right, Wolfpack, the Outbreak of Chill 2, T Dunn. All right, where are we going here? Here we go. It keeps jumping, people. I have to really be careful here when I scroll down here on the screen. BD Wolfgang says, was the girl in rehab who had the cane problem supposed to be? Oh, okay. They're talking to each other. Okay, so we'll skip those as they're talking to each other right there. Villain says sports entertainment therapist is a far underutilized position. I think everyone probably needs their own. You wouldn't want there to be too much conflict of interest. That's endless story. Yeah, I guess I am sort of a sports entertainment therapist in my own right. I don't care because, like I said, to me, it's like I was talking to my man, the gatekeeper, BMC, my co-star on the masterclass. I was telling him, I said, I don't care. And it reminded me of Ricky Gervais. Remember when he came out at the Golden Globes or whatever the crap it was a few years ago, and he was handing Hollywood their ass, and he said, I don't care. I don't care, right? I don't care. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I don't know where that kind of comes from. Certain people have it, and they just want to speak truth. At the end of the day, when you live in a world where so many lies are proliferated on a daily occurrence, in the end, you kind of get fed up with it, right? Okay, it's at work, it's in the grocery store, it's in town. I often hear conversations between people, and I'm like, that person's full of shit. That fake laugh. Oh, I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. All right, when you live on Earth and you go past the age of 25, you start seeing things for what they really actually are. Unless you're still delusional, you want to live in a fantasy, but you start really realizing things. And the biggest contribution we can make to life after that point is to just speak the truth, because so many people just don't. They just lie. They just are yes people, and they don't give people true. And I think that's the biggest piss take of anything. If I were to come on here every week in a live stream and tell you guys that it was a really great thing that Sami Zayn won and all this other crap, I'd be lying through my teeth. All right. I would be talking to you guys. You guys may be watching me, and I may have more people watching me because there's a lot of yes people out there, but I would only be doing that for my benefit. I wouldn't be doing that for yours, because you'd see right through it and you say, this guy just wants a job in WWE, like 99% of those podcasters out there, if not 100, well, 99%, wouldn't be 100%, 99% that want a job either in AEW or for Fight Full of Crap with that sap of a man, Sean Sapp, whatever his name is, his ragtag group of friggin' nerds, or friggin' to work for the Tickler. Not that he would care anyway. He'd still probably hire anybody, but that's not the point. The point of the matter is you see a lot of them that just lie through their teeth. And guys, here, that's not me. That's not us. We're not going to do that, all right? Okay? Well, whatever God's plan is for wherever he lands us there. That's it, all right? I'm not going to try and impress any man that I don't think deserves to be impressed, right? Because at the end of the day, no, that's not a life worth living. That's a lie. If anything, that's a lie, all right? And I don't believe in that, all right? There we go. Biddy Wolfgang, thanks. No one. Okay, they're talking to each other still. Thank you, Paul Reckless. We need some more thumbs up. All right. Okay. Here we go, Paul. Oh, wow, they're having a long conversation here. Actually, says, hey, does anyone recall Piper wrestling at the Calgary Stampede? All right. Does anyone remember that? Let Archie Lee know. Villain says, I think Emir learned his sales techniques from his Uncle Paul. Laugh out loud. I'm fed up with those sloppy asses. KO did have a great go with Stone Cold. KO looks homeless, but an asshole performer, an A-plus performer, Sami Z. I think Emir learned his sales from his Uncle Paul. No, I didn't know. Uncle Paul wishes he learned his from me. All right. At the end of the day, Uncle Paul didn't pick up his sales techniques. He should have listened to Vin Man a little bit better. Right. At the end of the day, then he would be a better salesman right now for WWE. But no, I did not. Trust me. Uncle Paul and I are miles apart. Right. Okay. So no, I did not. If anything, he needs to learn a few lessons from me. All right. He needs to learn a few marketing techniques from me. Villain says, I think some of Piper's traumas are based there. Probably, yeah, sadly, back from the Calgary days. All right, okay, going down here. All right, BD Wolfgang says, big money, Josh Bishop versus the Master Emir, JCW main event. I think that would be main event money right there. Josh Bishop, because he's somebody I'd like to work with. That's obviously a man who studied the great eras, because you can just tell. Anybody, you can tell who they are just by the look on their face, the facial expressions, the way they carry themselves, the way they walk, the way they move, the way they tell the story in the ring. He's somebody that I would have total trust working with, and that would be big money. Absolutely right there. But you know what? I might be interested in making Mr. Bishop an offer that he wouldn't be able to refuse, a financial offer for that to join me in my quest. Perhaps he'll be part of the master class. You know? How about that? You never know. Never say never in the World Wrestling Federation, as Vince McMahon would say, or never say never in the world of sports entertainment, as I say, in the year 2026. BD Wolfgang says, hell yeah. Villain says, laugh out loud. Their entire roster sucks. Emir, about NXT, hilarious. Karrion Kross should know better. This is full of hot take clips. Hilarious. What a heel. Yeah, NXT, total shit, my man. Absolutely. I agree with you. A bunch of friggin', gosh, man. Bunch of friggin', literally, this is what I saw the other day. This is what baffled my mind. I saw two guys on there who look very feminine. Let's just say that. Let's just say they look like girls, these two guys. All right? They're like 20-something, right? Kids. 10 years ago, they were freaking 12. What the hell life experience do they have? They're babies, pups. Freaking, they still have baby fat on them. Anyway, these two twerps, these two little sissies, were playing skip rope with each other, mouthing the lyrics to like a Britney Spears song. And NXT's promoting that as if that's supposed to bring eyeballs on the product. What eyeballs are you trying to get on your product, NXT? Doesn't exactly scream masculine combat. Doesn't exactly scream battle in a squared circle. Gosh, it definitely screams somebody. It sounds like a scream queen, all right? Something like that. A teenage girl at high school. Man, these guys are pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. To make it worse, each of them has long hair, and they styled their hair like girls too. Absolutely friggin' pathetic. You know what? I just love for the Master Emir to walk in there in character and just freaking grab these two knuckleheads together, smash their heads together, grab one of them by the back of his stupid female long hair, toss him straight over the rope, watch him fly over the front guardrail, straight into the crowd with the rest of his sissy fans out there that like him, that wear their hair in friggin' pigtails, grab the other friggin' idiot, tie him up, tie his friggin' feet up in that skip rope that he was jumping with the other one with, tie him up, grab him by the little friggin' handles, spin him around in the ring, and then just friggin' let go and let him fly out into the audience. Friggin' idiots, man. Absolute friggin' wipe the ring of turds like them. Absolutely stupid, man. Pathetic. Gosh, I'm cutting a promo on these idiots right now. Unbelievable. All right, let's continue here. Right. Villain says, yeah, I wouldn't do it publicly. Yeah, I hear. Yeah, exactly. He's talking about the Karrion Kross thing. All right. Dominic to go 153, our valuable channel members in the house, as is Onyx Blue, as is John Jakowski. They're all in the house now. Thank you guys for joining us on the Sunday afternoon. Dominic to go says Sami Zayn WWE title run won't last too long. This is just a business decision by WWE. I hope to God it is. Dominic to go. John Janowski. Sorry, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Your name is really small on the screen here. WWE, unfortunately, has been going downhill for a long time. Sami Zayn is a perfect example of the fall. Indeed, exactly. He is an example of that. All right, X-Sparty Green, you need to hit the join and become a channel member, my friend. I want to see your name turn green so we can interact with you and get your questions answered live on the air. That's how I'm doing these live streams now. All right, so make sure anybody who has not joined to become a channel member, do it right now. It's $4.99 a month. One-time payment every single month. Gives you access to all the goodies, the channel member videos, free giveaways, discount on our merchandise coming soon, and, of course, to interact with me live on these live streams where I bring up your comments on the screen and questions, all right? Wolfpack Main says, J-Rod is like Wonder Woman with Goldberg, Lesnar. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, like American Gladiator character. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about now. Yes, he says that, the American Gladiator. Yes, I know. Well said, Emir. Sunshine is in the house. Sunshine, thank you for your gift earlier. I did see that come in, and I appreciate that greatly. You know, that helps the channel. It helps us grow and expand and keep going, and we appreciate that. So she says, Sami Insane is a new name, Master. Yes, Sami Insane. Mr. Sloppy. Sami Insane. That's it right there. Mr. Sloppy, Sami Insane. Onyx Blue says, kids these days wake up and go to school in PJs. Yeah, I was just having this conversation with my mom this morning, how pathetic this is. When I see people at the gym, I've seen guys at the gym, no embarrassment, walk in the gym in pajamas, wearing freaking Crocs, which I can't freaking stand, or flip-flops. Who in the hell goes to the gym in flip-flops? Can you tell me that? Would you have the audacity to friggin' go to the gym wearing pajamas? This is the type of shit that Sami Zayn does. That's the type of degenerate that he is. Lazy ass that he is. Unbelievable. Unreal. Like WWE. All right. Whew. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sunshine. Wolfpack Main says, watch JCW Lunacy, y'all. It's like the Attitude Era. That is. But again, warning, there is a lot of language, a lot of cussing in there, right? Now, I know Vince Russo said he's working on eventually cleaning that up. So again, but look at the storylines, look at the characters, look how it all works together. That's what I want you guys to pay attention to. Not the words, but watch the characters. Watch how it all flows together. We got a super chat came in. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping us out here. I'm going to get that to the bit, but we're going to keep going down here. Shemp82 says, I think it's time for Emir. Where we go. Shemp. I think it's time for Emir to have a sit down with Uncle Paul over this nonsense. I've invited Uncle Paul. I told him the other day, I said, Uncle Paul, I said, honestly, you know, anytime you want to talk, anytime you want some wisdom from me, some advice, you know, because I got a degree in marketing and graphic design. I got a degree in all that, okay? I studied it for years. So anytime you want to talk to me about that, I wrote in Hollywood. I was a writer for 10 years. Anytime you want to talk to me, Uncle Paul, to solve this bullshit, I'm here, right? All he can do is either mend the fence or he'll be involved in a new wrestling Monday Night War. Well, actually, it'll be a Thursday Night War. All right? Let's just put it that way. All right? Wink, wink. It'll be a Thursday Night War. He either does that or, hey, I'd rather go to war. I'd rather go to war so we can save the wrestling industry right there. I'd rather start a new sports entertainment war, all right, with Uncle Paul. Head-to-head. WWE versus, you guys fill in the blanks. You already know. All right? That's what I want to see. I'd rather have that than a sit-down with Uncle Paul because I know what he's going to do. I know what he's going to do, people. He's going to try and solicit me. He's going to try and get me to come up to the Great White Dud, right? Formerly the Great White North. He's going to say to me, hey, you know, Master Amir, come up here. This is your new office right next to mine at Titan Towers, the former Titan Towers, the TKO Towers now. He says, hey, you can sit right here with me. Here's my buddies. Ari Emanuel says, stop right there. Second you said that, I'm out, Uncle Paul. First of all, the WWF I knew up, grew in, and loving was a family business. It was the McMahon family business. It was a private equity company. And then it became public, and then it got worse and worse. This isn't the company I want to work for, Uncle Paul. Not unless you can fire all these schmucks, get rid of it, and get it back on track as an independent company. No, well, family business. That's the only way, and he's not going to let that happen. The money's already gone to his head. Power's already gone to his head, sadly. All right? So, again, I digress. All right. Sunny, blah, 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 blah. Sunshine says, lost my damn badge again. Now your badge is right here. I see it right there. Oh, it's back. Okay. Villain says, wow, laugh out loud. Synchronicity City. I have a great story about pissing on the graves of wrestlers. Definitely for another day, perhaps. I also have a humorous wrestling love song that I wrote. Villain, drop it in the comment, my man, so we can all see it in the comment of this video. All right. Villain says, I think both industries conceal the same kind of horrors. Disguised as entertainment. Needs to be alternatives to just creative energy, not being misdirected or funneled as a ritual. Yeah. Rituals, indeed. There's a lot of rituals in that entertainment business, my man, and we've covered some of those. John Jankowski says, those feminine guys you saw in NXT were probably big fans of Seth Rollins. Yeah, they probably were. Seth Rollins looks like he shops at the same store as Mickey Rourke and Debbie Batista. All right, another one right there who's, like I said, used to shop in the men's sporting goods. And now, like I said, now he shops for pearl necklaces and women's handbags and pink cardigans. Yeah, not exactly a good message to send to the youth, Mr. Debbie Batista, the former gargantuan turned now runway model wannabe. All right, absolutely pathetic. Anyway, continue. The guy's messed up. All right, okay. So, Villain says, NXT is pretty unwatchable. I can't argue that. Trick is trying too hard, in my opinion. Well, I think one of the reasons why Trick is trying hard is because he's so embarrassed by all the other shite that he sees around him. It's almost like, I have this conversation a lot about the need for masculinity, right? The utter need for it right now, and how some people I feel go over the top because they're so disgusted with seeing the lack of it around them. It's kind of like they go overboard to try and compensate for the others that don't. So I think it's a little bit of that, where Tricky Dicky is looking around thinking, shit, I want this place to be better. I want this to be the thing I grew up loving and I'm watching and believing in, and it's just not. And he's trying hard just to be, like I say, he's a good guy. I spent a lot of time talking to Tricky Dicky Williams in my unpleasant time in TNA, total nonstop agony, asshole bullshit last year when Uncle Paul and I were on talking terms. And he sent me down there to watch over Tricky Dicky Williams because, a lot of bullshit in wrestling. TNA people, TNA guys jealous like that punk Joe Hendry, stupid Scottish idiot like him who I owe a friggin' swift kick right in the nuts. That guy right there. But yeah, Tricky Dicky was just an absolute gentleman. The man who he's a true sports entertainer at heart, and he gets it. He gets it. We'll see. Time will tell. He's still fairly new. And if he is the Trick, then why would we want to whoop him? Wouldn't he do the whooping of the Tricks? Yeah, I agree with you there. That's just some bullshit marketing crap that they did, Gimmick makes no sense. Hold on, where are you? Right here. Okay, here we go. Cool Fool 1980. Hi, Amir. Do you think Rene Dupree would have made a good world champion in WWE? Absolutely. Absolutely. My man Dupree, who has since retired from YouTube, he's retired from wrestling. I spoke with him about 3 weeks ago. He's completely retired from that now. He would have made a good world champion back in the day. I was rooting for him back in the day. I just think that he saw behind the veil of what it truly was, sports entertainment, because he's a pretty deep thinker, and he really realized that I don't want to be part of this shit for another 20 years. And he got out, and it probably saved his life getting out when he did. Again, God has a plan for everyone in their life. And I'll keep you guys updated here and there for those of you who were supporters of Renee, but he is moving on to other things in life. All right. And I'll touch base with him this week, see what's going on and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he would have made a good champion back in the day. Villain says, I'm whooping no tricks. I'd almost rather yeet, but even that makes me not. Yeet is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, Villain. That idiot, Jey Uso, another friggin' Nepo baby, all right? Another one who's been pushed to the moon. He doesn't even deserve it, all right? The highest caliber they ever got was a tag team. That's all they should have been. The Usos was a new version of the Head Shrinkers, and that is pretty much it. Because other than that, separately, these two idiots, and I don't know what one of them's doing. Every 5 minutes he goes, you notice that? He's talking and he goes, what the heck is that? What's he doing? Like, what the heck is he doing in the ring? So anyway, all right, G-Man is in the house. The G-Man is here. Crazy how WWE just changes all their plans for Sami once they go to Saudi. I thought he was Canadian. Yeah, I thought he was Canadian too. I don't know what the hell he did. I thought he hated Saudi Arabia, as a matter of fact. You find people tell me. Didn't he once have a barrage of crap to say about Saudi Arabia? Okay, going down here. It's funny that Logan Paul used yeet long before Jey Uso. Logan Paul is the only person on the MJF heel level in WWE. Who else gets as much heat and overachieves his moments? Logan Paul versus Uncle Paul. Emir. If anything, Villain, Logan Paul and myself will be a tag team, all right? And we'll wipe the floor with this Mr. Sloppy, Sami Zayn, and you may as well throw his old friend in there, KO, and we'll knock them both out of the friggin' damn wrestling business. Uncle Paul can be the special guest referee in that one, all right? Yeah. Yes, he did. He goes, oops, I mean Uncle Paul can ref. Exactly. Yes, indeed he can. It's the Costanza. You're not a channel member anymore, my man. You need to check your Oh, you're rejoining soon? Okay, all right. Yeah, because for some reason I saw you're not green anymore. It's the Costanza people, is one of our valuable channel members here. He's always there. He's always communicating. He's at the top of his game. And for some reason I saw him turn green. I thought he turned his back on us. I was like, really? Really? It's the Costanza. After all that, after all we've been through, it's the Costanza. And you just turn your back on us in our hour of need, in our time of need. So apparently he said YouTube turned heel on me. I'm rejoining soon. Yeah, we need you to rejoin, my man. All right. Okay, going down here. BD Wolfgang says, see you later, Matt. G-Man says, Trick got married to one of the female wrestlers in WWE, so I wish them both the best. Yeah, indeed. We wish them the best. You know, Tricky Dicky Williams, my man. He's a good guy. All right. Trick and Lash. Yeah, I was surprised. They should start their own construction company or something now. Their kids are going to be 15 feet tall. Wow, they could be pretty tall, actually. You're right about that one. Shemp82, sheesh, my neck is hurting right now. Shemp82 says, speaking of marriage, did you see Darby Allin just got married and his mother slammed him onto thumbtacks at his wedding? Oh, my gosh. Are you serious, Shemp? That is the most awful thing. This guy's deranged in his head. Not Shemp. Talking about Darby Allin, the little elf from Harry Potter. This guy's deranged. He needs help. But, of course, the Tickler's not going to help him. Tickler's just going to keep letting him go. Oh, yeah, keep diving off the second story. See, I haven't dived anywhere, and I got a neck pain in my neck right now. Can you imagine what the heck this guy's going to feel like in 10 years? But yet, the Tickler doesn't care. The middle-aged bucks don't care. The formerly Omega Man turned old man, he doesn't care. Sheesh. I don't care. All right. Okay, let's go down here. John Jokolski says, Corporate Mark Phil hated Saudi too, but fell in love when he saw their money. Oh, yes, he did. He fell in love when he saw their money. Absolutely. 100% he did. G-Man says, yes, Sami has Syrian heritage, and he avoided Saudi the first time. Yeah, but he soon came around this time, didn't he, when they gave him a little bit of this in the world title? What a pathetic friggin' scumbag. Villain says Emir and Logan versus Sami and KO with Uncle Paul. Ref is money. Ha, ha, ha. Maybe a four-way so Emir can get a belt out of this before Logan is champ forever. Tell you what, if Logan does become the WWE champ, good for him, my man. Tell you why? Because Logan Paul doesn't need the WWE. The WWE need Logan Paul. And that's the difference of the power game between him and the rest of that roster. Logan Paul has developed a brand. He understands character more than all of those guys combined, and he knows how to do it well. He has perfectly made the transition from podcaster to pro wrestler, and he studies his wrestling history. He takes sacrifices to get the job done, and he's been doing it well. And he has impressed me considerably as a sports entertainer. At first, he didn't. I thought, who is this jackass coming here think he can do this? But at the end of the day, he's better than the others. Now, on the other hand, the other little prick, Show Speed, that little dickhead that he is, failed soccer player, that idiot, on the other hand, he can't do it. He is a complete prick, and he's a complete degenerate too. He offers nothing to society, whereas at the very least, Logan Paul does put forth a great podcast. He has very interesting guests. He's had very interesting topics with like some Joel Osteen. He even had Trump on his show. He's had scientists. He's had other professors on his show. He's had actors on his show. At the very least, he does contribute something worthwhile to society, unlike the other friggin' idiot clown friggin' celebrities that work their way into WWE. Archie Lee says, Dobby could have worked. The problem was the belief in him being a main event character. That bug-eyed con guy could or rebuilt ROH, but was too much of a sucker. Yep. ROH is dead. I didn't even know they still existed until the other day. I think it's like a D show. It was probably like AEW Dark that just appeared on YouTube back in the days. Not that YouTube's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's so friggin' far removed from being anything of any value. Ring of Honor. Not that I even cared for it in the past anyway. I always thought it was a shit show because I thought that was the beginning of the end of true sports entertainment, when idiot companies like that came out that were masquerading these guys who basically were gymnasts who weighed 180 pounds, never set foot in a tanning booth, and never developed character, and somehow made them wrestling superstars. That's when the bullshit started. Who else came out of there? The corporate Mark Phil, people like Kevin Owens, people like that new champion, the sloppy man, Sami Zayn. All these idiots came from that kind of shit right there. And that's when the business just went down the toilet. And so, again, if we were to look back at the history of pro wrestling and see when it failed and when it started to go down the tubes, it's when they took the TV character aspect, the theatrical aspect out of it, and you allowed little pricks like that to get into the mainstream. Daniel Bryan, another prime example, another freaking idiot that can't draw a lick, as sloppy. Yeah, Sloppy Zane. Exactly. That's exactly it. He's Sloppy Zane or Mr. Sloppy. The reason I said Mr. Sloppy is because Mr. Socko of Mankind was more entertaining than him. That's why I suggested that. But I don't know, guys. I mean, like I said, the rest of I didn't check too much about what happened at the rest of Night of Mediocrity, but I know it was friggin' abysmal from what I've heard. The main, obviously, the fact that he's the world champion is this guy again. I want to show you guys again, just to let it really sink in that right there, okay, is a man who's now carrying the belt for the WWE that was once held by Hulk Hogan, the likes of Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Sid Vicious, Ric Flair, all those greats. Now this guy is your world champion. Take a good, long, hard look at that. Does he look like a champion to you? Marshall's sports jacket, ugly beard that he never trims, hair that he doesn't barely comb. Basically, look at him. He looks the same color as an aspirin that hasn't been coated with the yellow protective thing to protect your stomach lining. Unbelievable. John says ROH came out of the ashes of ECW originally. It was as pathetic as they were. Exactly. G-Man says Leo Rush is smaller than Darby Allin, but he's more interesting, and the only good thing in ROH there. I didn't even know he still wrestled, G-Man. Honestly, I didn't know. we got somebody in the chat here who I think is somewhat delusional here, because he actually supports Sami. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, my man, but I'm sorry, at this juncture right here, you're completely outnumbered. Completely outnumbered. You know what? We got another one in the chat here. Again, probably from a rival podcast right here. Two of them in the chat here that have come in just to complain on a Sunday afternoon because they don't like the fact we're telling the truth. Bottom line is, yeah, WWE dropped the ball on Gunther 100%. They dropped the ball on him. They didn't give enough character. Now he's just a guy who walks around brooding all day long and wears a trench coat. That's not a character. Like I said, people, when you start thinking as a producer, when you put your Vince McMahon hat on and you start looking at these guys as characters, all right? Imagine this, people. Imagine this, okay? When you were young, some of you were young, when you were kids, and maybe you bought the wrestling action figures, right? I remember the great Hasbro figures, okay? Why did you buy them? Why did we buy them? They were characters. Characters that you wouldn't see walking down the street when you went to a grocery store, when you went to the park, when you went to school. When you didn't see people walking around in costumes like that, okay? So what makes anyone think that a guy like Sami Zayn or even Dobby, the emo skateboarding Death Wish guy, is a marketable character? They're not. They're just average, normal-looking people that don't even make an effort to look extraordinary. Show business is about creating an extraordinary experience, an extraordinary appreciation for what you're viewing. I've said it before. If you went to Broadway, all right, if you went to see a theater show, let's just say Wicked. Not that I would watch that shit, but let's just say Wicked, right? And instead of having the witch with green face paint, because she has green face paint, and instead of making her fly up on the stage and all that, you just did the whole thing, and she did it in sweatpants. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you're promoting something on television, if you're projecting something like it is a larger-than-life spectacle, you need larger-than-life characters. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, these people are not. I don't care how good wrestling ability they are. I don't care. It's not a sport. They're not athletes. I don't care. Dave Meltzer is off. He's delusional, all right? Sports entertainment is about character-driven storylines. That's it. If I can't see him as an action figure, I don't care about him. It's as simple as that. Think of Big Van Vader. He looked like a friggin' action figure come to life, as did Kane, as did The Undertaker, as did Sid Vicious, as did the Warlord, as did the Road Warriors, as did Demolition. The list goes on. All right? That's why we remember them 40 years later. In 40 years, no one will ever remember Mr. Sloppy Sami Zayn. I guarantee it. I probably won't be around to see that in 40 years. But I guarantee it, those of you who are, remember this and say, wow, he's right. No one ever remembered him. If the world still exists in 40 years, that is, of course. So, but I got my opinions about where we are in the history of timeline, especially in our biblical age. But yeah, we'll see when we get there. No one knows the date or the hour. G-Man says WWE dropped the ball. Archie Lee replaced Cody Rhodes with Corey Feldman. I stand by this. I wonder, would anyone notice? Yeah, exactly. We could just have Corey Feldman's a bigger character than most of these guys. Heck, if you put Corey Feldman on WWE, friggin' the ratings would go up. Guaranteed. Let him go off. Sunshine says, I just watched Leo before I came on here. Wow, what a character he is. I think he's like a little gremlin now. He runs around a ring and stuff with weird eyeballs and stuff. John says, since he's brooding and wearing a trench coat, all Gunther needs is the crow face paint and to drop out of the rafters. Hey, it'd be a better gimmick. It'd be a better gimmick, John. It would actually make him sell merchandise. Guarantee. G-Man says, Meltzer Magoo. Like Renee used to say. Yep. Rene Dupree, my man Rene Dupree, doesn't like Dave Meltzer either. You know, and again, most people who are very intelligent in the world of sports entertainment understand that Dave Meltzer is a stain upon it. Him and the likes of that Sean Sapp, fight full of crap, bullshit media company ran by a bunch of damn nerds. There's that other friggin' punk that wears a friggin' pink robe. I don't know who the heck that guy is. Something like that. He wears a pink robe, a bathroom robe. I don't know. He kind of looked like someone's grandma or something. I don't know. Freaking a bunch of nerds out there, right? Basically, bunch of nerds that literally this is all they friggin' like. Oh man, it's so good. It's so no, it's not good. Wake up. Think, McFly. Think. You know. All right. Archie Lee says, I know you're not going to like this. He's already forewarned me, people. Are you going to make my blood boil, Archie Lee? If Sting was Vince's idea, then the only character today would have been when it would have been passed on to Seth Rollins. The Sting character was meant to pass on. Interesting. Well, you know, the Sting character was actually stolen from the movie anyway. It wasn't exactly an original concept. The original Surfer Sting was, but not the one that came later. Sting just lifted that from the movie The Crow. So it wasn't original. JC23783, become a channel member, my man. We want to see you turn green in the chat right there. Archie, the villain. Actually, I think you just text Corey Feldman. You know what? I'd stand by Corey Feldman. I'd stand by him. I want him on the show. In fact, I did ask a friend of mine the other day. I said, oh, I know you know Corey. Get him on the show. I want to talk Goonies with him. I want to talk Lost Boys with him. Beyond that, I want to talk friggin' dirt in Hollywood, my man. We need Corey Feldman on the show right here. John Jawelski says, Vader interacted with me at a house show in 1993. And as a kid, that was a cool moment. Now we have some of these people getting physical with fans. None of them will ever be close to Vader's league. Exactly right. Exactly right. These guys were gentlemen back in the past, but now you got people like the corporate Mark Phil who thinks it's okay to smash phones out of people's hands because that other idiot, Bailey, thought it was okay for her to slap the fan too. Heck, I saw that fan. He was no threat. You know what I would have done in that situation? If he kept coming around, I'd say, look, pal, please, you got to back up, man. I'm not, I'm tired right now. If I was really, but you know what? Even then, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. The bottom line is I wouldn't because he's a fan. I'm there for him. He's the reason I have a job. These assholes can't even think that anymore because they're so arrogant. All right. And the thing is, they have a bunch of friggin' Mark fans, internet Mark fans, who are so warped in their thinking that they actually think it's okay for them to hit him. They defend these idiots. Morons, man, morons. All right, Sunshine says, I just watched Karrion Kross interview, and he is not signed to anyone. Said he is loving life and has plenty in the works to keep him going. He said God works in mysterious ways. Well, praise God. I hope he is becoming a man of faith and seeing a new light, and hopefully he'll go on and do better things. Thank you, Sunshine, for sharing that with us. G-Man says Sting was so popular as the Crow that he didn't have to talk. Exactly. Didn't even have to say anything. Villain says Sting became Schwing. He ripped off the Crow and the Joker and was better, except at WrestleMania. God, that was awful and made no sense. Yeah, well, the WWE just tried to crush Sting, didn't they? They tried to kill him. Literally tried to kill him. I think Seth Rollins, the knockoff Dollar Tree Sam Smith, the man who wears his women's clothing, the man who wears his wife's clothing, mind you. All right. I hope to God we never see Seth Rollins' pants pull down in a match because you'll probably see his guy's wife's underwear on underneath them. Friggin' Mr. Becky Lynch. But anyway, he broke Sting's neck, did he not? Almost ended his career. One thing Sting has over all the other over all of the faces, never got laid out by a heel faction. Very true. G-Man says AJ Lee is pretty, but people overhype her. Way overhyped. I don't even know. She's way overhyped. I don't even know who the hell she is. Like I said, I know he's his wife, right? But I never saw her wrestle. Not that I care anyway. Like I said, all you fine people know. I have zero interest in that. But anyway, G-Man's villain says Sting knew better than to drop from anywhere in the WWE. I think that's the real tell. Yeah, he knew better to not come down from the rafters in WWE after what happened, sadly, to the late, great Owen Hart. Sunshine says, no way is that why you call him Mr. Becky Lynch. Laughing my ass off. Shemp says, I'll get back to that. Shemp82 says, Emir versus Dickhausen, book it. Shemp, you got to be on the nose. You called him Danhausen. I want you to retype that, Shemp82, and said Emir versus Dickhausen. All right? Let's dress him appropriately. Go on, Shemp. Retype it right now. Put it back in the chat. Put it back the correct way. Shemp82, right now, retype that. Emir versus Dickhausen. Book it right now. I would, because I want to see if his cape actually works when I toss him out of the ring. I want to see if he can actually fly. All right? When he wears a cape, he sounds like Pee Wee Herman, looks like Pee Wee Herman, weighs about the same as Pee Wee Herman, but I want to see if he can fly. Sunshine, that's why he's Mr. Becky Lynch. He wears Becky Lynch's clothing, obviously. You know, all the fluffy, frilly jackets, pink jackets. What's he doing? He's a man wearing bright neon pink? Come on. It's ridiculous. Come on. He's got to look between the legs. He's got to do a ball check to find out if he's still a man. That's what he's got to do right there. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Becky cut him off one night. Maybe that's the whole deal. Maybe they disappeared. Maybe she just lobbed them off. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why he's become the new, the Dollar Tree knockoff of Sam Smith. Maybe that's why it's all about. So that's right, Sunshine, exactly. There you go. G-Man says, Dickhausen would try to curse you, teach him. First of all, this little twit, Dickhausen, thinks he can imaginary curse people. Biggest pile of shit I've ever heard in my life. All right? You ever did that to me? Literally, I would just grab the friggin' little punk, the little child by his head, and I would just toss him around from pillar to post, toss him. It'd be like a cat playing with a mouse. I would toss him up in the air, throw him up in the air, catch him on my shoulder, drill him through the mat with a nice power slam, friggin' drill my knee into his neck, right? Pick him up, toss him over the rope, kick the shit out of him on the floor. I would just toss that guy around. Just make sure that once he's done, that's it. He's not coming back. John says, Dickhausen could have been one of the Johnsons in TNA from 2002. Laugh out loud. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, could have been something like that. Archie Lee says, I also would like to put out there has yet to be a standout female character since Sherry and Luna. Very, very, very good point. Look how long ago that was. Nothing can touch them. You're absolutely right, right? My wife says this all the time. All of these women wrestlers all look the same. They all dress the same. They all sound the same. Screeching at the top of their lungs, trying to sound like men. Sherry had a character. Luna had a character. Alondra Blaze, Medusa, had a character. These women understood. Even Rockin' Robin, Jake the Snake's sister. These women, Leilani Kai, all right? Our dear friend of the channel from Glow, the Royal Hawaiian, April Hom. These women knew. They knew how to do it right. They didn't just come over the top and try and act like guys and basically all look like, sorry, I'm just going to say it. I don't care. Look like they hang out in street corners, right? Because they all wear the same clothing. That's little to the suggestion of what's going on, right? As my wife says, right? None of them have character. None of them. They all look exactly the bloody same. And first of all, because I was thinking about this as well, when you got into a fight, right? I don't know. We got Sunshine in the chat. Sunshine, if you were a wrestler going into a match, you'd wear a little bit of makeup, right? But you've seen the exaggerated amount of makeup these women wear, right? When they go into a match. Now, you wouldn't wear that much friggin' makeup going into a fight, right? Stupid, ridiculous. Like I said. Okay, so let's go back up here. So we go here. We got some more questions. John Archie Lee. Villain says, Jesus versus evil cursor of God's children. It's a little on the crown. No. Well, like I said, I mean, he'll find out the hard way that every knee will bow eventually, whether he likes it or not. And I did hear rumors, actually, that this prick Dickhausen, I mean, everybody needs to pray for him, because I've actually heard things that he has satanic symbolism tattooed on himself, and that he actually is a follower of evil, for real. So not good, especially not good considering you're marketing him to children. If I'd have had kids, because I'm not going to have kids, because I didn't want kids, but if I'd have had kids, they certainly would not have been supporting Dickhausen. That's for sure. I would have banned that from the friggin' house. Not only that, is they got their dad, the master Amir. So what else do they need? All right, end of the day. Laugh out loud. We all remember Yeah, that was very bad, what Vince McMahon did there. That was very bad, what he did with Shawn Michaels. I did not like that at all, villain. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's the Costanza. Again, he can do. We got the new Mysterian shirts coming out. Of course, channel members, you're going to get a discount on that. We got the Tickler T-shirts coming out here. Okay, it's just a character we made up called the Tickler, who may or may not look like somebody you're familiar with. We got those. We got the Gatekeeper BMC, my man, T-shirts. I'm going to be dropping 2 more T-shirts in the post today, so you can see what the design is going to look like. And then this week, we're officially going to get that shop set up, so you can order from there directly from your purchase to your home. All right, they're coming, all our new T-shirts here. Make sure you get your Mysterian T-shirt as well to walk around with the OG T-shirt, because in 10 years, when we have completely revolutionized the world of sports entertainment in the podcast realm and in the ring, we're going to remember those T-shirts right there where we all started, where we began. Where'd they get the idea? Where are we going here? Oh, let me go down here. Master Amir, realistically, the strike from the cane from Suspect Alone would put the skateboarder to calm. Now, Archie Lee is referring to my manager around ringside, the ambassador, my goodwill ambassador, Suspect. He's talking about, because he does, he comes to the ring. We have canes, okay? We're distinguished gentlemen of class and dignity and respect and honor from the old country. And he does have a cane with him. And occasionally, he's stretching his arm. He's stretching his shoulder, twisting his shoulder. And sometimes the cane may or may not accidentally hit an opponent, Right? Just happens sometimes. They're through no fault of the ambassadors. But yeah, if the cane did strike Dickhausen, I'm sure Dickhausen would just snap in half, right? Okay? Much like the Achilles character in the new Odyssey movie would. Anyway, check out the members only section video for that one. It's going to be off the hoof, people. It's going to be on fire. All right, going down here. Archie Lee says Medusa was good too. Both in the ring as an yeah, exactly, right? Okay, Sunny was good too. You look back in history and you see some of these other women, the way that they conducted themselves, they were still, as my wife would say, they could still be feminine, but yet act appropriately. But at the same time, again, with the difference of these women today is they're not acting feminine. They're trying to act as if they were men in the ring, and that's the problem right there. Number one, that's the disconnect right there. And they don't have a character either. They don't. I think, what was it? One of them who had a character, that Liv Morgan, she stole the gimmick from Bray Wyatt, or she piggybacked off his gimmick. But even that was a failed, short-lived attempt. That never really went anywhere. All right, so going down here, Sunshine says, I've got the Shawn Michaels stories. Sunshine, email me. You've got some Shawn Michaels stories? Email me. Because again, channel members, I want you guys to share ideas with me as well, because of course, as channel members, Olga sent me a suggestion for an episode, which we're going to record. So I'm only going to accept things from channel members. So if you're not a channel member, sorry. You got to join and become a channel member for that too. Sunshine, email that to me. G-Man says, in the Attitude Era, Chyna and Lita were both unique, but their primes were too short. Yeah. Again, there was another one. Lita with the Hardy Boys was an interesting gimmick. Very original at the time. Chyna, of course, was extremely original with my Uncle Paul, back in the day. That's what made Uncle Paul work out harder, It's because he was embarrassed that Chyna was bigger than him. That's what he told us around a Christmas dinner one time. Well, he told me. At the time, I was no threat to him. I was a child. So at the time, he was saying to me, yeah, when China was back in her prime, I couldn't face myself in the mirror, so I had to bulk up, and he was very dejected and despondent when he said it. He was very embarrassed when he said that to me, and then he got mad for some reason, and he said, I am the effing game. Remember when he said that to old Jim Ross? I've lost respect for Jim Ross too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not really. I'm not. I'm starting to think about some of the crap he's been saying over the last few years and starting to realize the type of crap he brought into wrestling or brought with him. And yeah, I don't know. I respect him as a man, but I mean the character. I'm talking about the character right now. G-Man. Okay, Villain says, where is Villain? What if the merchandise itself is cursed, or the workers are? I wonder who's making these garments for Fantastics now, just for fun, just like Dickhausen's predictive curses. Well, it's true. There are curses on things. People have cursed items. People don't believe in this shit, but it's real. You've seen these videos where someone buys an heirloom or something, or they bring something into their home and spooky shit starts to happen. Which, by the way, the only way to eliminate that is just to say, in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, get out of here. Because every knee will bow to him, and every evil demonic spirit must obey that, must fear that name and get out. But what I'm saying is, you can bring stuff in your house that's actually freaking cursed, and it can cause all kinds of weird shit. So watch out where you get your stuff from. Of course, when we send out our merchandise, we're blessing it in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua. So you have no fear with us. I always pray before I go on these episodes too. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, guide me through this. Be my words, be my mouth, let me be the instrument here. All right. To say what I need to say. All right. I'm sure not all of it is, obviously, because I do go off. Right. Okay. But at the end of the day, I'm using language and words that I feel that are appropriate for the time and age that we're living in the subject matter that we're discussing. All right. So let me continue here. I went to HBK's Wrestling Academy in 1999, right before wrestling. Here we go. The Villain has released something else about himself that we never knew before. He was keeping this a little close to the chest here. Turns out Villain went to HBK's Wrestling Academy. Villain, email me. Tell me of your experiences. See if we can bring you on the show. I want to hear about it. John says, Debbie Batista didn't make it big in Hollywood until he got that all-seeing eye tattoo on his chest. How convenient. Maybe Dickhausen is trying to go down the same road. Pathetic. It wouldn't surprise me if old Dickhausen didn't end up having his own Pee-wee Playhouse movie, TV movie, that is. And I've already given him the name. Dicking Around with Dickhausen, all right? Okay? And if I ever see it come out, their check will be coming in our direction. Trust me. All right, okay. Archie Lee says, wait, so Dickhausen is supposed to be a Kmart Groucho Marx? Russo would have done gold with that. Yeah. But again, Russo would know where to place him on the card. He's not a main event, and he shouldn't be the star attraction of every single show. That's the problem with these idiots. First of all, we know who the writers are in WWE. They're a bunch of friggin' people who just got out of college. I showed you guys in an episode a few weeks back on the masterclass, right? Ben and I, my man, the gatekeeper, BMC, who's in the United Kingdom right now. It's very late for him out there, midnight. But we talked about this. We've seen who the writers are in WWE. They're not qualified to write. They look like 20-year-old punks who hang out at Starbucks and listen to emo music. These are the people writing WWE, people who have never stepped foot in a ring. They literally never wrestled, never refereed, never ring announced, never commentated, never valeted or managed, never agented a match. What could they possibly bring to any sort of wrestling production? Heck, they don't even have a podcast. They do nothing. They wrote for children's TV. Now we see why Dickhausen's on it. All right? They've turned it into Pee-wee's Playhouse, or what was that other guy? Shit, what was that guy's name? The old man who wore the cardigans. Mr. Rogers, was it? Mr. Rogers? Yeah. Mr. Rogers Street or something like that. That's who they're writing for. That's why people who watch WWE are having their intelligence and stuff. Vince McMahon must be disgusted right now when he sees this crap. Probably didn't even watch it anymore. Probably can't. He'll vomit. So Villain says, I think there must be tons of interesting Shawn Michaels tales. Villain says, Liv, laugh out loud. Her theme was a home wrecker gimmick, was watch me, and she got stalked and has all seeing high on her butt. Weird prob, just coincidence. Archie Lee, realistically, Lita was the first. Hold on, where are we go here? First Darby, all seeing eye. Okay. Archie Lee says, I take the blue blood over the game. Too many ruined directions. Yeah, the blue blood, of course, we all know that I'm carrying on our family lineage. Paul left that behind years ago, but of course, you know, I take it on with pride. At the end of the day, I realize what our ancestors did, and I'm trying to bring, not trying, I am bringing back class and sophistication to sports entertainment. True characters, true storylines, true development, true interaction with the fans, true role models. That's what we're bringing back here. All right. Okay. Shemp 82, King of the Ring 93, great times indeed it was. Villain says, yeah, spells and curses on objects are a real thing, and it literally says it is cursed and you are cursed on it. It seems a little much, you know. Yeah, they probably have done some weird shit like that. If I was anybody, I would not buy any Dickhausen merchandise at all, just for that very thing there, because, yeah, as the villain tells you, sometimes they're telling what you're doing in plain sight. It may seem like a joke, but it's not, all right? And they can put weird demonic things on there. Of course, if you're protected and sanctified with the blood of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, you're fine. Nothing can penetrate you. You put on the full armor of God every day, bullets bounce right off. That's the promise of Jesus Christ. And I'm talking to myself right now, because sometimes I get bogged down with stuff, and then I realize, where is this evil thought coming from? Where is this doubt coming from? It's not coming from God. It's not coming from the Holy Spirit. So in the name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, get out. Not interested in buying into it. All right. Okay. Going down here. Respect to you, Archie Lee. Thank you, Archie Lee. Not for the kids at all. Indeed. John says, as almighty as Satan thinks he is, just speaking the name of Jesus takes him down. I see somebody in the chat called Tinkster right here saying Dickhausen will fly when you toss him across the ring. He will fly with his cape. I'm going to make him fly straight out of the damn ring and across the damn building. Villain Music World Treasure says, never buy a mirror from a garage sale. Listen to Joshua, my man Joshua, Music World Treasures. What he said. Don't do it. You never know what you're bringing into your house. Villain says, yeah, he does have a literal demon on his chest. I told you he's got an evil tattoo. So many demonic tattoos in wrestling, it's almost passe. Oh, scary. Never seen a spider or an angry demon before, or a stripper named Gear. Yeah, it's weird. And I was going to tell you guys as well, the stupid sticking out of the tongue that so many of these morons do because they don't have a character. So when they come through the curtain and they just all do the same generic pose when they go, ah, and then they go, ugh, and they stick their tongue out like a bunch of immature dickheads, really piss me off, idiots like that, okay? That's actually a demonic thing too. That's a demonic symbol right there when they stick their tongue out, right? Well, of course, Demolition stole that from Kiss, the Kiss demon, right? Okay, that's where that came from for Demolition. But at that time, I don't think they were that advanced in their thinking back in the 80s to think that deeply. They just thought, oh, it looks cool. Reminds us of Kiss. We'll just do it. But then you got all these other dickheads now on the independent scene. Now, again, not everybody on there. I work with some great guys, Comptomania, some of the other companies I work with in Southern California, some great talent out there, of course. But I'm saying a lot of these friggin' guys, a lot of them, they stick their tongues out across the nation. They do it on NXT. They do it in WWE. For what? Are you the Kiss demon? Do you wear face paint? Does it call for you to do that? Are you a snake? All right. Are you a lizard? Right? Think, McFly. Think. It's just because they have nothing else to do. Most of them walk through that curtain are so damn nervous because they shouldn't be there in the first place that they just start panicking. Have you ever noticed that as well? Like I said that the other day when I was having my match last week, by the way, which I vanquished, by the way. You're all very happy to hear that I completely vanquished my opponent last Sunday. My next match is July 10th, so I'll give you guys the details. But anyway, I vanquished my opponent, and it was a stellar, stellar match. All right. I'm sure Uncle Dave Meltzer would give us 10 out of 10 for that one. Not that I give a shit, because Dave Meltzer is a mountain of misinformation. But anyway, what the hell was I saying? I completely forgot here. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Let me get back to the questions here. Yep, you're thinking of Mr. Rogers. That's right, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, indeed. Archie Lee says, here's something to think about. There hasn't been any characters more of a standout than Mr. Erwin R. Shyster. Real question, I'm not joking. He was a very big character. Very, 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 very true. Villain says, yeah, the tongue sticking out and the two sweet horns. That is the devil horns. New World Order. All symbolism, people. Black and white. Hell, or Degeneration X. Put up the devil horns and the tongue affiliation and some ignorant suck it. Yeah, very demonic shit that happened back then. Very friggin' bad, right? Okay, very bad. R&R Shyster, let's think about that. And the yes men are the puppets like on the ship. Yes men, indeed, Mr. Rogers. Yeah, the yes men are like the puppets on Mr. Rogers, so indeed. All right, people, it's been 2 hours. So I hope that we get some new channel members in this chat here, because we want to make it grow. We want to expand. We want you guys to become part of our family, part of our team, our ever-expanding team here. If you've got any ideas, email me. All right, email me, the Masters of Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Don't be a stranger. Leave comments on all the videos if you find something of interest to talk about right there. Also, make sure you thumbs up this video before you leave the channel. Do not leave the channel before doing that. Go back on this video after it's uploaded and leave a comment in there. All these comments that you leave here right now on the live stream will vanish the moment they go. And of course, comments also help us burst through the walls, the shackles of that algorithm. So make sure you leave comments on the videos. Make sure you thumbs up all of them. For those of you who have not yet subscribed, make sure you do so, right? 70% of our regular viewers have not hit the subscribe button. This is a travesty. This is unbelievable. And it doesn't just happen to us. I've watched some of the most popular YouTubers out there in the world, and the millions of subscribers who have said exactly the same thing. The massive amount of their returning viewers don't hit the subscribe. They need to do it now. You don't realize, guys, this is imperative. We need you guys' help and support if we are to continue. All right. This is something that, again, you know, if you're not in the YouTube game, I don't expect you to understand it, but it is very, very difficult. All right. You may think, oh, okay, well, we put out all these videos. It's not coming up on people's search feeds. It's not. All right. Because at the end of the day, there's an algorithm. And once the algorithm likes you, which is basically AI, once it likes you, and it could take years for that to happen, then it starts to push you out so that everybody who even searches WWE may see you, you know, in the top 15 of their list as they're scrolling down there. All right. We haven't hit that yet. I did a search. I did a test the other day. That's why it's imperative that you guys thumbs up the video, that you subscribe it, you share it across your social media platforms, that you join and become a channel member. Because I did a search the other day for a video I just put out. I can't remember what title it was, but it was a hot topic. And I Googled it after I dropped the video. I put whatever it was, Cody Rhodes or whatever it was in there. And then I kept scrolling. I was like, okay, where the hell is my video? I just dropped it. I scrolled. I must have scrolled through almost 80 or 100 videos. And then I finally saw ours pop up. We're not on the algorithm yet, people. So we need you to help us, all right? So make sure you thumbs up each video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join. Make sure you share these videos on your social media platforms. And Sunshine, thank you for sending us another gift. Thank you for helping fuel us here on the Masters of Wrestling. We need that, and we appreciate it. Thank you, John Jokolski. Thanks, Emir, for the great live stream. Masters of Wrestling will be #1 in no time. You all are #1 in my book already. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you, BD Wolfgang. Thank you, Sunshine. Have a great night. Thank you, Villain. Thank you, everybody else. G-Man, thank you in the chat. I appreciate it. And the new video will be out tomorrow. And check out those new T-shirts that you're going to be dropping in. You're going to see dropping in the posts a little bit later on when I get back from the gymnasium, because I must go now because I am so irritated by Sami Zayn. Not that I wasn't going to go to the gym already, but just because of that idiot becoming the champion, I'm going to work out even harder today. So that's it. I am bench pressing. I'm doing my chest and triceps today. So I'm going to envision that punk while I'm at the gym, and I'll probably bench press that, 300 plus pounds so friggin' hard it will go up into the ceiling, stick in the ceiling, and I better get out of the way in time before it comes back down and breaks the bench in half. But nonetheless, I want to God bless each and every one of you in the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of Yeshua. Thank you for joining me. Stay free, stay positive, stay intense, and keep being a master in all that you do in your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next one.